I have tried desperately for quite a while now to try and get people to hopefully realize this argument about abortion rights, the right to self-choice, and all the rest would be so easy to understand. They keep trying to pretend that life begins at conception, which is horseshit. There is something that is in the medical industry, or, science, if you will, that determines exactly what it is. And that is a parasite. A parasite is any living organism that requires an unwilling or willing host to host it, if you will. And that without that host, that parasite cannot survive. And it will not survive on its own. And as long as people understand that that is all a zygote is, it's a parasite. A parasite that will not survive without the host, the mother. And that mother gets to decide whether she intends to keep that parasite within inside her. It isn't a man's choice. It isn't a government's choice. It isn't a doctor's choice or a religious priest's choice. It's the choice of the host to decide whether or not they want to host that parasite. Now, when the parasite reaches the point where it's able to live outside of the host by its own, be able to take care of its own metabolism, breathe on its own, eat on its own, that's when it is no longer a parasite. But until that moment of viability, it is a parasite. And no government, no church, and no parent has the right to force a person to host that parasite. And people need to stop looking at this as if it's somehow somebody else's right to dictate who gets to be a parasite's host. We need to start making this go through the courts, because a parasite is a legally identifiable and understood medical condition. Parasites exist in this world, and that they cannot survive without a host. And that's all a zygote is until it reaches viability. So nobody gets to force somebody to hold a parasite.